Welcome back guys, today for a special video about my best Jedi survivor build. I've been playing this game for the past weeks and I've nearly completed it 100%, including all the damn plant seeds, including all the perks. I've tested everything and I came up with a build that actually is so incredibly strong that you can use your super ability infinitely long and trigger it whenever you need it, alongside with having infinite force power. In order to understand why this build is so extremely powerful and why your super ability is so important, I have to tell you something which might sound as a spoiler, but I don't think it is at all. Because at some point in the game your super ability will not only let you dance around your enemies during slow-mo, it will also dramatically increase your damage by using some dark side force power. Of course, Kestis is not turning to the dark side at all, and that's all you have to know about it. But he can handle and manage this power and use it to his advantage. Since this ability is melting through every enemy and easily kills even the strongest robots with a single strike, easily doubling or even tripling your damage, it is absolutely key that you want to have this power as long as possible and enter it whenever you want to. One thing that is also important to know about this Dark Force power ability is that you will always use your single lightsaber abilities with it. So having good knowledge about the single lightsaber stance and its best abilities is also key to master this and get the most out of your Dark Force super ability. Of course, other stances might be super cool and actually do something a lot better than the single lightsaber one, but to master your super ability with the Dark Force power, I really encourage you to make the single lightsaber one just one of your standard stances. Even the single lightsaber has some incredibly powerful abilities, such as the aerial jump attack, which is one of my favorites that is almost instantly killing even the mid-size robots and mid-size enemies in a single strike. And if not, it will remove the entire block bar at least. But we'll come to the stances and abilities later in this video. Because much more important to make all this work and get an infinite amount of superpower ability are your perks. These perks are incredibly strong and should not be underestimated, since they can easily double your damage, double your force power, or even fill up your super bar extremely quick. The total amount of perk slots you can acquire in Jedi Survivor is 10 perk slots, and you need at least 7 to make this work. Your first perk should be Shatter. Shatter will dramatically increase your block damage and almost entirely remove the block meter from every enemy with a powerful force attack. And even your standard lightsaber attacks will have a much easier time to get this job done. And of course this will also stack with your super ability and will make it even stronger. Shatter is probably the most important perk if you want to beat your enemies quickly in this game. The next one is absolutely mandatory to get your super meter filled whenever you need it. Elixir will fill your super meter whenever you use a stim. So with this build you will not only use your stims to refill some life, you will also use your stims actively to get your super meter filled and get even more out of your super Dark Force power. Because when using a stim you will almost immediately enter your Dark Force power because your super meter will almost entirely be filled whenever you use it. Sometimes you should even get hit on purpose to be able to use a stim and enter your Dark Force power. This is what makes this build so incredibly strong. You can actually trigger your Dark Force power, your super ability, whenever you want it by the usage of stims. And since we are using a lot of stims on purpose to get into our Dark Force power ability, we can also use recuperation, because with recuperation we will get half of our force power filled whenever we use a stim. So we get two effects when using a stim. We get a big fill on our super meter, which almost entirely fills it every time, and we will also get half of our force power back whenever we use a stim. You will always enter God mode whenever you use a stim. So even if you don't get your super meter immediately filled by Elixir, you can just use your new force power to make a force attack and get it filled. These two perks together with Shatter will actually get you in God mode whenever you use a stim. The good thing is that you need only 7 perk slots to make this work, and you can get most of them on Jedi and even purchase one of them from the robot. However, if you have all the 10 perk slots, you can even use other powerful perks such as Equilibrium or Marksman. Equilibrium gives you damage after every force attack, so it will work for every stance you use, while Marksman is especially for the blaster stance. Of course, you could also simply go for Wisdom to get more XP, or even use Precision to get even more block meter damage, which makes the block meter on your enemies literally go extinct. To get enough perk slots to make this build, you should definitely go to Jedi, because in Jedi there are 3 puzzle locations around the big desert in the middle. They each start with paths. You will find one in the north, one in the east and one in the west. It's all about pushing one metal ball all the way to the top to get access to one new perk slot. For the northern one, you will actually need the advanced grapple beam, but the other two can be done very early. Of course, one additional perk slot can be purchased directly by the robot in Kobo, and there are 3 more hidden ones also located on the planet Kobo. The first additional perk slot is located on top of Harvest Ridge. In order to get there, you have to solve the barn puzzle with the help of your Nekos. The perk slot will be just on the second to last ledge below the meditation point. From the meditation point on Harvest Ridge, you can also take one of those small dinosaur creatures and fly all the way back to Rambler's Reach. There is a building with a hole in the roof which you can just jump into with the help of your aerial friend. Inside of that building, there's an access point to the Smuggler's Tunnels part which you haven't explored before. To get access to this perk slot inside the tunnels, you have to have the ability to pass through those green gates. If you have this ability, then this perk slot is actually quite easy to grab. The last perk slot is located in the Derelict Dam area. Just fast travel to the meditation point in front of that big giant turtle. Turn around, move that generator piece to access an elevated area in the Derelict Dam. This whole area is basically a giant puzzle which will also require you to have the Kobo Matter ability to get rid of those nasty plants. Once you manage to get on top, you will be awarded with your last perk slot. To get the Shatter perk, you have to defeat the Rancor in the Swordden Grotto near Rambler's Reach, which is actually something you will probably want to do early on. The Elixir can be purchased from Z for 5 data discs, Recuperation can be found when you complete the Chamber of Connection in the Viscid block, and Equilibrium can also be purchased from Z. Regarding the stances, you should definitely make the single lightsaber one of your standard ones, because the Dark Force ability also uses just a single lightsaber. So if you master this one, you will also get the most out of your super ability, especially when you use the aerial assault by jumping or double jumping and then using a force attack. You will perform a vertical strike towards your enemy, which will almost every time entirely kill them, or at least remove the entire block bar. For the other stance, I like to use the double bladed the most, because it can easily reflect all the blaster shots and deal with massive amounts of enemies at the same time, which is really cool, and I am also very used to it from the first game. So definitely go for Endless Hurricane, even the Vortex Dive, or even the controlled lightsaber throw. They are really great abilities. Of course, if you like dual wield or the blaster stance more, or even cross guard, then you can totally play with them. I'm not a big fan of these, but they are definitely great as well. Regarding your force power, you should definitely go for all the telekinesis stuff, because especially when you use the Dark Force ability, you can just simply throw 10 enemies at the same time and they will always die instantly with your insane telekinesis power. So that's absolutely mandatory. And of course, if you want to save some points, then don't really go for all the mind control stuff. Mind control is funny, but I also find it rather weak. So if you want to save some points, then rather don't go deep for mind control. By the way, you will get enough ability points in this game anyway. After you have maxed out your health bar and your force bar, every further essence you will actually accumulate will just be another skill point. So you will actually swimming in skill points anyway, and there is no point to even grind any XP in this game. I've even 7 skill points left and I've never even farmed a single point of XP in this game. So I hope you really liked my best Jedi Survivor build. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like, and see you next time.